Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Talk Time with Pastor Krista. Today is Tuesday of Passion Week or Holy Week, and we began talking about Holy Week last week Friday when I introduced Palm Sunday to you. Remember that it's an entire week from Palm Sunday when Jesus rode into Jerusalem until this coming Sunday when Christ is risen and that beautiful day of renewal and excitement and joy that we feel. Yesterday, we talked about Jesus walking into the temple in Jerusalem and seeing people doing things they shouldn't do in a church or a synagogue or a temple, buying and selling animals and exchanging money, and Jesus got so angry that he tipped over the tables. And that's really the event that happened the Monday of Passion Week. But what happened on the Tuesday of Passion Week? Well, we're going to talk about two key men, two key disciples, or very good friends of Jesus, or followers of Jesus, who had part in Jesus' death. Now, it's hard to talk about death, but if you're going to talk about Easter, death is a really important part of that. So some of the conversation that we have during Passion Week is difficult to have, but I'm going to try to explain it to you in the best way I can so that we get the bigger picture. Remember when we read our scripture, one of the first few days we gathered together, and I took the Bible and I said it's important that we read the scripture, but then it's important that we blow it up and we look at the bigger picture. And that's what we're going to be doing today. We're going to be talking about Judas today. Tomorrow, we're going to be talking about Peter. But today, let's talk about Judas. So Judas was one of Jesus' very good friends, but Judas betrayed Jesus. And if you betray a friend, it's really one of the worst things that you can do. Betraying a friend means that you kind of give them up. You throw them under the bus, you tattle on them, you tell somebody something about them that they might not want to know. It's a word that is a very serious word in the Bible. So let's talk about our scripture today first. And we usually do it last. We're going to do it first today because I want you to hear about Judas' betrayal. And we're going to talk about that for a minute. So our scripture today is taken from Luke 22, and it's 1 through 6. And my bookmarker today is the Lord's Prayer. And I'm going to use that bookmarker the rest of this week because these are the words that Jesus taught us. And what a fitting time to use that bookmarker. This is what Luke 22 says. And we're going to be reading 1 through 6. It says, "And now the Passover celebration was drawing near." Passover is a Jewish festival that our Jewish friends celebrate every year, and it's very important to them. It is the Jewish festival when only bread made without yeast is used. Well, the chief priests, who are like the big politicians, and the other religious leaders were actively plotting Jesus' murder. So Passion Week is a little bit of a murder mystery, trying to find a way to kill him without starting a riot, a possibility they greatly feared. So the Jewish leaders, the priests in the temple, they were very concerned that if anyone knew that they were trying to find Jesus, to kill Jesus, that people would get very, very upset. And you know what? I think they were right. Then Satan is another name for the devil, and we're going to talk about that in a minute. Then Satan entered into Judas Iscariot, and Iscariot's kind of like Judas's last name, who was one of the 12 disciples. And he went over to the chief priests and captains of the temple and to discuss the best way to betray Jesus to them. They were, of course, delighted to know that he was ready to help them and promised him a reward. So he began to look for an opportunity for them to arrest Jesus quietly when all the crowds were not around. So let's talk about this murder mystery for a minute. It tells us in this scripture that Satan entered into Jesus Iscariot. And Satan is another name for the devil. And I want you to understand this. Just like we talked about God being part of this Trinity, and God not living in heaven as a being above us looking down on us, Satan is not this red devil that lives under us in hell and looks up at us. Just like God and all that good energy is around us, sometimes we also sense the devil or bad energy around us. And sometimes bad energy can fill us, just like good energy can fill us. And we really have to practice good mental health to make sure that that bad energy doesn't come in and that we allow just Jesus and all his good teachings and that good energy to come in. So what happened is the priests went to Judas, and Judas told the priests, you know what? I can tell you where Jesus is going to be so you can arrest him. And he prays often in a garden, and the name of this garden is called the Garden of Gethsemane. It's a beautiful garden, and Jesus often went into the garden just to be by himself and to pray. But the priests did something. They gave Judas a bag, and the bag had 30 silver coins in it, and they said, if you tell us where to find Jesus, we'll pay you 30 silver coins. Now I have 30 silver coins in this little bag, and I'm going to pour them out on the counter in front of me so you can see just how many coins that is. Not a lot of coins. There's 30 silver coins. Now back in Jesus' day, these 30 silver coins probably equaled about $600, which today is a good amount of money, but not a ton of money. But in Jesus' day, that was pretty much a good amount of money. Now think about this. Would you sell out a friend for 30 silver coins? Do you have a friend whose friendship isn't worth, their life is worth 30 silver coins? My friends are worth more than money can buy. I don't know about you, but I would think that I would never make that choice. So what does that mean? That obviously means that somewhere inside Judas, that evil was in his body, that yuck, that stuff that we let in when the good energy there's no space for it because there's so much yuck inside. And unfortunately and sadly, that's what happened to Judas. And he couldn't see the light. He couldn't see the light and love that we talked about. So let me give you an example of that. So let's say, remember, we're going to take the scripture, we're going to blow it up and make it bigger into a bigger picture. So let's say I have a gallon of milk in my freezer, and this is a brand new gallon of milk. And I'm going to open this milk because I'm thirsty, and I'm going to pour myself a glass of milk. And I'm not going to pour it all the way because I don't want to waste it. I'm sure someone will drink that later. Now, I know that this is good, fresh, yummy milk because I just bought it on Friday morning. But what's going to happen if I take this container of milk and I put it in the refrigerator, and as the day goes on, people take things in and out of the refrigerator and this milk gets shoved way in the back and we forget about it? What happens to milk in a container when it's in the refrigerator for too long and you forget about it? This is what happens. One day, I'll clean the refrigerator and I'll open it up and I'll see the gallon of milk and I'll go to open it and I'll smell it and it will smell awful. It will smell evil. It will smell yucky because milk spoils when it doesn't get consumed in a good amount of time. And this is kind of what happens with people. Sometimes on the outside, just like this gallon of milk could be in the refrigerator for a month. Could be in the refrigerator for a month and it would always look like this nice gallon of milk until we open it up and look what's inside. So what is the message here? What is the bigger picture? Number one, make sure your friends don't get shoved to the back. Make sure that you're aware of your friends, and if you feel them getting a little far away from you, like that milk in the back of the refrigerator, pull them back in. Give them a phone call. Write them a letter. It's especially important in these days when we're in our homes. The other message is this, and this is really, really important, especially now, is that somebody might look perfectly fine on the outside, but they might have a lot of yuck inside of them. They might have feelings where they're anxious or afraid, a little scared. They might not feel good about themselves, but God gives us the ability to open this up and to look past the packaging, look past the container that looks really good, because sometimes on the outside people are smiling and they're happy and they're very funny, but on the inside they're hurting. And that's kind of what happened to Judas. On the outside he looked okay, but on the inside, boy, was he hurting. And he made a very, very poor decision. And that decision led to Jesus' death. So don't let the package fool you. If you have a friend who looks good on the outside, give them a call and talk to them and make sure they're good on the inside, and make sure you tell them how much you love them. That's the message for today. Now today the song we're going to sing is a little bit of a mystery too. So this song is sung 3 times, and each time you sing it, you get a little faster. And my little kids at church know when we do this on the altar in the chapel, I take my heels off and I go point at all the letters, because this is a letter song. But I'm not going to tell you what it spells out. I want you to try to figure it out. So listen very carefully, and you might have to hit rewind when you're watching this to actually figure it out. And this is how it goes. I am a C, I am a CH, I am a CHRISTIAN, and I have CHRIST in my HEART, and I will LIVEETERNALLY. That's one time. Now I'm going to do it 2 more times. I'm getting a little faster each time, and you try to figure out the good message that's in this mystery song. I am a C, I am a CH, I am a CHRISTIAN. Yay, got it. I have CHRIST in my HEART, and I will LIVEETERNALLY. Could I possibly do it any faster? Yes, I could. I am a C, I am a CH, I am a CHRISTIAN, and I have CHRIST in my HEART, and I will LIVEETERNALLY. Whoa. See if you can figure out what that says, and we'll revisit it tomorrow, and we're going to talk about that. So here we go with our benediction. My heart loves your heart because Jesus first loved us. God bless you today, and be good to your friends. Show them all that good love you have in your heart.